Cindy, and today I'm here with a book review, and I was lucky enough to be sent this book for review by the lovely David Lamore, and that is Fallen Angel by him, his first debut novel. So I'm very excited to have received this for review and give an honest opinion on my thoughts and feels about this book. Basically, the synopsis, which I'm not really certain if I actually know what it is because it's not a full-on published paperback book, but basically we are following a young girl named Evelyn, and she has moved from the big city of New York to a small town in Montana after the sudden death of her parents. So basically, new town, new school, and meets this lovely, gorgeous boy named Hillel. And as the title suggests, Fallen Angels, there's some sneaky business going on here. And it's a very classic paranormal type story, but it was very different to what I expected. I was pleasantly surprised by how the story turned out. This is the first in a series, I assume, because it did not wrap up, so I'm feeling there's a series coming on, so I'm very excited to see what the rest has in hold, if I can get my hands on the next ones anytime when they are out. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars because the story was so different to what I had imagined it was. It was a very biblical kind of story, and I thought it was very cool in that respect. The characters were not always what you thought them to be, and I just thought it was a really, really interesting book. A very nice, short and simple book that was very entertaining. That's all I can really say for non-spoilery business. If you want to stick around and hear what my thoughts were about the book, please feel free to. It's only been out for about 2 months, so I'm not sure if a lot of people have read it, but anyway, I'm gonna get into some spoilery details about the book now, so stick around or you can leave, and I'll see you guys soon. Alright, so as I said before, this book takes a very biblical sense on the story of how the world was created, with the books of Genesis from the Bible included, and we start with a little snippet of how Lucifer fell to Earth essentially, but it turns out to be something different when you get towards the end of how it all ties together. But I found that very interesting, the take that David took on the story to accommodate for his storyline about Evelyn ending up being Eve in this story. Found the concept very interesting about Lucifer and Yaman, I think that's how you say his name. He created Earth, and Lucifer was technically the good person in this, even though he's the bad person. He's like the evil side. He was actually doing some good, whereas the actual angels that helped create Earth or that were controlling Earth were kind of bad. It was a little confusing on what exactly, but I understood it as I read it, so that's what's really important. On Yaman's Earth, there was Adam and Eve, of course, the story, and Lucifer was basically trying to tempt them as being like the snake with the tree, I think, but then he was actually not, because he was actually the good person in this storyline. Basically, we find out at the end of the story that Evelyn is the new Eve, so the angels are not happy about that, although she is very conflicted on which side to pick, because she has picked Lucifer, aka Hillel's side, but they're the evil side, but they're actually like her friends, but they're trying to protect her because she's the new Eve, and basically the other team, the good angels, want to kill her because she is the Eve of the new world that can stop them. So I found that concept really interesting. I did not expect such a standard of depth in the story using that theme, and I thought it was really cool to take an existing sort of storyline and make it into a paranormal fiction type story, and I thought that was a really cool concept. So in the beginning of the book, I didn't trust any characters. I came into this book like, you're gonna be a bad angel, you're gonna be a good angel, we don't trust no one. So I didn't trust her best friend Brooke, who actually turned out to be a human. I didn't trust Brandon for a while there. I was like, there was a little comment by him in chapter 2 saying, keep your mind open, and I was like, Brandon, what are you saying? Are you saying that you're an angel or something sus is going on here? So I didn't trust Brandon for a little bit because he was being super nice, and I was like, is he a good angel? But I was leaning towards bad angel until we met Hillel, the love interest, and I was like, oh hell, he's Lucifer for sure. I knew it straight out. I also super shipped Brandon and Evelyn in this storyline. I was not really feeling the bad boy vibes to this one, like, you know, typically you choose the bad boy Hillel, and she does love him, but I enjoyed that she was conflicted about loving Brandon, but she openly says basically that she loves Brandon as well as Hillel. Hillel's more like a lust sort of love, whereas Brandon is like a pure sort of love. It's both ways, and I really like and respect that it wasn't such a struggle where she had to choose one, where she's essentially kept both, and I think that was such a lovely take on that storyline of a love triangle. There was a section where I had commented saying that Hillel was trying to tell a story of basically how she shouldn't love Brandon, but it was told through a series of like historical stories about how love ends up, I think, and I found that like such a clever little put into the story there. I can't exactly remember what I was meaning by that, but there was something clever about it, and hey, I will say it. I didn't really understand the concept of her taking AP history if she needed that class so she could go back to New York because she was already studying that, or she was already up to that level. I guess that wasn't really important in the storyline, but I really want to know more about it because I don't really understand American school systems very well, why they have these crazy AP classes and then just like normal classes. Like, why? Why do people have to be super smart? Is it to get into Ivy League schools? Ah, maybe that's what it is. Okay, I don't care. I guess it doesn't matter to me. I'm done with school. I didn't like the scene with the so-called the Four, with like the scary biker rapist people. I was like, it was so uncomfortable reading it. I was like, no, this is scary. I don't like it. And especially because I work in the nighttime. I go to my work, which is a building, and I have to go around to a back place, which is pitch black. Quite terrifying sometimes. So that was not a cool scene to read and then have to go to work the next morning. So halfway through the story, I was changing my mind on if I thought Brandon was Lucifer and Hillel was the good guy, because they had some serious tension between them, and I was like, ooh, like Brandon's bad guy act was on, so I didn't know. I got a little confused in the center point. So then we meet Shell, which is like Hillel's cousin, but basically she's in his band of bad angel peoples, and we have a run-in with the good angels, and they basically burn the shit out of her skin, so that's terrifying. But they just basically want to see if she has the mark of Eve, and they just want to kill her. So for the second half of the book, we basically knew these people were coming to kill her, and it was all panic stations. Since we know that they're coming to kill her, Brandon and Evelyn take it upon themselves to use Brandon's parents' blacksmith shop to make a sword. And I was like, what? A sword? Like, that better be some bloody heavenly fire sword. I thought it was a very cute scene. I liked that they had that scene in the forest. It was a very, very nice romantic sort of scene, and I was like committed kind of to Brandon at this point. And then it was so cute that she invited Brandon to come along to the fight when they moved up to the mountains and met the rest of the crew, including a guy named Dax, who seems really cool, and a few other angels that had come to fight, or the good angels came to battle them. But I like that Brandon was up there, and you know, Hillel had just accepted that she wanted Brandon to help her fight. I also liked the part where they said she was the morning star, and I was like, she's a Morgenstern! She's a Morgenstern! She's related to Clary and Jace. So as I said before, I really like the ending. I don't really know what happened with the battle. It sort of just ended. They were like, bye, we'll battle you again soon. I'm not really sure what happened there, but that's alright. But as I said, I really liked the concept at the end of finding out the story of how Lucifer and Yaman created the earth together, by Yaman getting all of the powers from all these other angels to create it and stuff, and Lucifer was like, he's crazy, and basically tried to control the Adam and Eve situation on the earth to manipulate them in a good way, I believe. And I like this story that basically Eve fell in love with Lucifer, and of course Lucifer turned out to be Hillel, and of course Evelyn being Eve. So basically we had the connection the whole time with them being in love in the past, and basically in a new form being in love. So I was like, oh, that's such a beautiful concept of an idea, and it makes sense why she kind of loves him, but she can also, you know, not be completely drawn to him where she still has Brandon. But I thought it was a really, really cool idea. I loved that part so much. To hear that story was my favorite part probably of the book. So that's all I really have to say about this. This was a great book by David, so thank you so much for sending it to me, and I would love to receive sequels if you continue to write this series. I would love that so much. And that's about it. So if you guys want to go and read it, I will link the Goodreads page down below, and if I can find it on anywhere you can buy it, I will link that also down below. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Oh, that's a little bit not in space. I don't even know what the synopsis is. Yaman? Is that how you say his name? Yep. And yep.